right, PTG fans, Lucky Sixes and Hyper G with you for round 4 of the Masters UK 2023.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to speak. I was just going to carry on, really. Fine. Masters 23, Lucky Sixes, sitting on 29 points after day 1. Very respectable indeed.
Yeah, man.
He's got his victory. He's a happy little bunny.
Haven't been 20'd yet.
Hasn't been 20'd yet. Still time. And
There is.
anything
Unfortunately,
more...
there is. I would have taken stop the clock. I'll call it mid-table mediocrity right there.
Yeah, I mean, the other objective was not to finish last, and you'd have to do very badly now to finish last.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, not impossible, because obviously people below you could have a very good
couple of big
day
wins.
2.
Yeah, absolutely. And interestingly, day 4. Sorry, day 2. Game 4 was the army.
Day
swap.
4.
Day 4
oh yes.
Too much. Yeah.
Army swap.
This was an interesting one.
This throws the foxes
on to
pigeons,
the matchup. We'll get straight stuck in, and it's Sylvan Elves versus Highborn Elves, which I'm not gonna lie was one of the only reasons I bought this dragon list, because I knew that 3 Sylvan Elves were going to be there.
You didn't know for sure, but you suspected. And you would have been right to suspect it.
So yeah, we'll get stuck into the list, and then we'll do a little bit of a thing. But Dan Minto, this is the guy that turned up for one tournament, won it, and got into the Masters. Is he rusty? Is he just ultra good? I'd not met him before, so it was really good. So that was really nice to play someone else new that I haven't played.
Many people wondered whether he even existed.
I know, but he is
real. He is real.
I can confirm he is real. So on to my list, aka Minto's list, and really, really interesting. 3 shapeshifter characters and a druid adept on cosmology. So from his point of view, he's got a 2-up armor. All the shapeshifters have 4-up fortitude.
Yeah,
and my flaming and breath
very big march rate, right? That's what shapeshifter is, isn't it?
Yes, and march 20, but only move 5.
And they are exclusive, so they cannot join any units.
Single player, yeah. Which he admitted actually that he submitted the list and then realised that they're not. They can't go in other things after that. So
right.
Yeah, there was that. He's basically got 2 fighty characters and 1 BSB that is Bow of Wiskin, which is an awesome bow.
Yes, multiple wins 2 on every shot.
Good. That was good. So that kind of worked for me. I was excited to use that. He's got the Druid Adept with Watcher's Woe, which is another awesome bow for attacks poison. Book of Mastery. So he's got 3 spells. He's got the Lightning Van Braces and Rod of Battle. So only 5 spells. And 2 of them being bound, so it's not the most potent magic phase, but it is very min-maxed in terms of that. That's the absolute minimum he could take to have some sort of magic phase. He's got 2 units of dryads, or 3 units of dryads, 2 big ones and 1 small one. Heath riders, 2 tree fathers, 2 lots of 7 wild huntsmen with Sylvan blades, and the poison Sylvan sentinels. I like the wild huntsman and stuff. Unfortunately for me, there's a lot of fortitude which gets taken down by pyromancy and all my breath weapons. So I've got that to think
about. Let's hope you don't have to go against pyromancy and breath weapons then, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, exactly. And
you will.
You've got cleansing light on my lord as well for flaming attack. So there is a lot in my list that I'm going to face that has all of the flaming and the pyro and all that stuff. So I didn't think it was the best matchup. And as the game carried on, he kind of said, "Oh, it's like your list is completely tailored to beat my list."
So he clocked it pretty quickly as well, though.
He did, yeah.
He was quite happy with the armor swap then.
I think so. In terms of that, obviously, as a reminder, we've got lots of dragons, no BSB. So maybe I could do something.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say your list is an easy one to pick up, though.
No.
Like, obviously, in this matchup, it's probably easier than it could be. But you have to have some experience or knowledge of using single model flyers and using them well and knowing what matchups they can do and which ones they can't stand in front of an enemy charge for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was certainly going to be an interesting one, and I was just trying to think of what I could do with this list. I can't go toe to toe with it in terms of things. So I was trying to think outside the box as much as possible with how I would go about doing anything. So encircle and capture the flags as well. So those dryads can't really fight anything apart from maybe the mini dragons and mage, which would be silly to put into. So there's that as well. So I wasn't particularly keen on the flags point of view, but
and of course, in terms of highborns, you were well aware that the lancers could be hidden in capture the flags.
Absolutely.
But you did know that was an army swap time. So
I did, yeah. Well, it's just a better core setup in general.
Yeah.
I wasn't really thinking too much about this, but it definitely I was thinking about it. I was like, well, if he hides the lancers, I'm not going to kill the Sea Guard and the Swordmasters.
Are a big no-no.
I want to chaff them out of the game, ideally, because they'll kill everything. But then he's also got the dragons and the Griffin.
And it was just nightmare upon nightmare.
And I was like, oh, goodness, right. So we'll see how it goes. This is how deployment ended up. He dropped first. Yeah, it's a very interesting. It's like a world map thing, isn't it? Quite cool. He dropped for first. Put everything pretty much in the center with the two lancers out on the flanks. So it's an interesting map for me because there are two forests already on the board.
Right. Okay.
I chose sides, so I chose this side, and then I put my forest, aka the Sylvan forest, in between them. So I've got like a line of forests.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this could work. When he dropped where he did, I then tried to think outside the box again and split up my army completely.
Almost completely, yeah.
Into, basically, with the... so on the left-hand side, I've got Wild Huntsman on the very left with the Heath Hunters over there to hopefully get me some sort of chaff. And to hold up the Swordmasters. I've got the Tree Father and then a unit of Dryads. Then on this right-hand side, I've got the Wild Huntsman and Treeman in front, the Dryads and the Dryads behind. The idea is that he would have to split up his army and I could try and focus on one side.
Whichever was weakest,
or just,
in your eyes.
Yeah, or just, try and pick off things where I could. I knew that the Shapeshifters were not that great against the Highborn.
No, because their fortitude was practically gone. Yeah, if they poke their heads out.
For example, he chose Quicklash on his Alchemy Mage, which instantly kills with no save all of them.
Yeah.
So D3+1, he needs to roll a 3 or a 4, and then he's killed me. So you're like, right, okay. So I put one right out
because
on this flank.
The Shapeshifters were Vanguard and March 20.
Yes.
So turn 1, or by the time turn 1 happened, they could have moved 32 inches.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Yes.
But if you did that, then he could have just moved a dragon over, Flame Breath and Quicksilver.
So
they're dead.
The idea with them is to just cause issues or distract
while staying alive.
So, but yes, we'll see. There's a paired weapons guy on the right. He's going to go up the flank and see what he can do there. Behind the house, which I thought was the best place for them, was the BSB and the other shapeshifter, the Great Weapon Shapeshifter. I'm not sure what exactly they'll do, but I'll put them there, maybe flee some things and hold him up and
have a shot with the bow, I guess.
Yeah, the general Wizard Adept is in the Sentinels. They're fairly central so that they can go either way depending on how the battle goes as well.
Yeah.
So that was my best play, I thought.
It's interesting,
in terms of that. I vanguarded up to be like this on this left-hand side, and he moved up, as you can see.
Ooh, sending a lot over, yeah.
Pretty aggressively with Lancers, the Pyro Mage, obviously to kill some Wild Huntsmen or whatever, the Swordmasters, which he's not marching into the forest because he knows he'll just take 4 DT tests on his way in. So that's an interesting one.
Oh, so that's your forest, is it?
They're all, the big one is my forest, and these
but
two
they're
forests,
all forests.
They're all 3 forests.
Yeah. Oh, right, okay.
So he's not marching up down that side so that he doesn't take loads of DT tests, basically.
Right.
But yeah, they put everything else over here. On this right side, he takes his Griffin, his Alchemy Mage, which obviously can one-shot that dude over there. His Lancers and his Grey Watchers come over this way. So he's split up.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
straight off the bat, I've at least done that. Whether that's even a good thing, I'm not sure, but it's happened. Pyro Flow, I stop Quick-Lash, and he gets Pyro Flow off. Only kills 2, or 3.
You didn't break his model, did you?
No. They come off. They're actually really nicely painted. And they're quite thin as well, because he said they were 3D printed, I think.
Cool.
So they're really, really nice. But no, thankfully it just came off. It's just a rider.
Yeah.
But two guys,
come off.
two guys died to Pyroflow, which could have got a lot worse.
Yeah.
Over here, I charge his Lancers with my Heath Hunters because I need like a 9.
They're like strength 4 AP2 on the charge, aren't they?
Yeah. And I'm thinking, you know what? I can actually do something against them.
Yeah,
that might catch him out. And it's flags.
Yeah.
But I go in and I fail charge.
Oh, yeah. That's not bad.
So I was like, that would have been awesome. That would have been good.
I've looked at that one in reverse, obviously thinking about your list, and I think Heath Riders can definitely do that.
Really intrigued at that and hoping to get in, but unfortunately I didn't.
No,
it might have been a 10, it might have been higher, but either way, there was a long
it was
charge.
worth a shot. Yeah,
and I thought, you know what, I could do this. I don't get in though, so I move up my Wild Hunters to there, hoping that he charges with my Lancers or with his Lancers into him, because I think they'll equally wipe him out. Same thing on the right hand side. My Wild Huntsmen go up to chaff the Lancers to see what
is it to chaff.
Well, I don't charge, so yeah.
So you're happy to take a Lancer charge?
Yeah, absolutely.
Attack first.
I attack same time, I think.
Okay.
But I will take same time because my Wild Huntsmen are not scoring. It's all about flags. Move. I'm on the right hand side. I'm out of the Griffin and the Dragon's line of sight at least, so that's good. But I'm not out of line of sight of the Dragon with the Wild Huntsman on my left. So the Dragon can see them, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
I think that's the furthest I could go. I'm not quite sure.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise in the corners, I just kind of move back and move a bit in for potential, so that the Treemen and the big unit of Dryads can both charge if needed, or like take a charge and then counter charge and things like that. So at least combat res will help me, I'm hoping. But yeah, not the best situation. My BSB comes out of line of sight, but able to shoot this the Griffin with the bolt thrower bow, which is great. And the other guys move up to poison shoot him. So I'm going for the Griffin. Hoping to get 700 points from my shooting, which is just that central.
Massively,
so
that
would be good. He declares charge on me, which is interesting. He has got the -1 to hit off on me, but I don't think he actually did any wounds. Oh, hang on. Where are his Grey Watchers? Oh yeah, there. Yeah, sorry. He went in, and I was over the moon. I mean, silently poker facing him, but absolutely over the moon with this because we've grown at the same time. I'm 27 attacks at Elite 6.
I think you're not devastating charge though, are you? So you'd have one less attack.
It's 3 attacks basic, 4 with a paired weapons, I believe he said.
Oh, is it? Oh, I thought it was 2 and then 3.
Oh, it might be that, but either way, I had just abundance of attacks. I just basically said,
you might be right. You might be right.
And all AP2, so I only need to kill 5. I'm pretty happy with that situation. To be fair, on this one less so because he went in with just a dragon. I was just desperate for him to go in with the Lancers, but he didn't. So there's that. I do have the Heath Hunters over there though, so I'm hoping that maybe I could, once he kills me, I could charge with the Heath Hunters into the Lancers. So there might be that. So that's interesting. But otherwise, he moves his Ancient Dragon to breath weapon my poison shooting, which I couldn't do much about that. It's March 14 and then 6 on the breath weapon, so he's going to get me at some point. The mage and the Grey Watchers come centrally to again shoot at them with Cosmo and whatever. But here's a Griffin, which we are currently. So it moves over to this side after taking 1 wound from poison shooting.
Okay.
Doesn't
So
get
the
hit by
the big bow didn't get
yeah.
hit. Yeah.
But moves over to here, facing my Wild Huntsman, which I'm pretty happy with actually, because they're just going to charge the center rather than think if I can get away with anything. They might die Huntsman wise, but he's only got 5 attacks and then horse. So only got 5 attacks, so he won't kill me. But I'm hoping to kill him. The Sea Guard and Sword Masters make their slow movement towards that corner as well.
Yeah, the longer they take, the better.
Not marching, which I'm happy for, and just in order to not take an attack. I thought it was a bit overcautious, but I was happy that he was doing that for sure. Over here, Quick Lash goes off and kills my dog. It's just nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. Over here, I kill them. I lose 3, but I kill them outright. Like, I think I would have killed like 8. And I'm like 1-0. Objective wise on 1-0. Like this, it's on now. Although I've got a lot of turns to go. But I turn to face and I turn to face the center. Over here, he only kills 2, which is great on the face of things. But it does stop me from charging the lancers. Even if I was to turn, I don't think maybe I could go 1 wide. Actually, I didn't think of that. Just allow
the conga line.
But that was interesting from that point of view. But he's only done 2 wounds. I can reform, get all my attacks with my Wild Huntsman before he goes. I'm strength 4, he's res 5. I might actually pop this guy if I can get him in. I double charge the Eagle and the Grey Watchers, and he flees with both. Classic Sylvan move. And I don't mind that because he's out of position.
What the fleeing you mean is classic Sylvan move. Highborn's a pretty coward too.
Yeah, very much so. The Great Weapon guy comes over here just to maybe cause some issues or.
There's an alchemy dragon on the loose though.
But there is an alchemy dragon on the loose. There. Over here, I charge the flank of his guy mainly because with the Heath Hunters. I'm in the forest majority, which means that I'm going to get the rerolls 1s to wound, and I'm strength 4. So I've just got an abundance of strength 4. Unfortunately, I didn't turn reform do the reform test. With the Wild Huntsman, which was annoying. But if I can get through this guy, I could potentially.
Do you mean you didn't do it or you failed it?
I failed it.
All right.
Yeah. But there's a chance that I go through this dragon if I can get enough wounds on him. So it's not as good as if I had all 3 facing, but it could be worse. This is an overview. As you can see, the amount of damage he's done to my sentinels is just. But at least the breath weapon on there is gone. So I'm okay for at least 1 turn. And I just turn to face to get into shooting. I do 2 wounds to him with poison.
That's very good.
Happy for that.
And meanwhile, half of your army just sits in a corner. 2 different corners.
I'm very happy for that. And this one on the right hand side, not a lot is looking at them, and that's the one with 2 scoring units for me. So I'm like, you know what? This could be worse. Unfortunately, he kills the Wild Huntsman outright and breath weapons my Heath Hunters and kills them to a man. I do 2 wounds, but in the grand scheme of things, that probably wasn't enough for what's actually happened.
Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Over here, I do 2 wounds to the Griffin, which is great. Now he's only got 1 wound remaining. Which is fantastic from my point of view. He charges both in to my Wild Huntsmen, who are fearless and can't flee, unfortunately.
So interesting.
They're going to die.
They are, but
only the dragon gets in. So again, I have a load of attacks going before.
I was going to say,
but he does have a breath weapon and stuff, so it will be short-lived unless I kill him outright.
Yeah.
Over here, this is the remaining moves. His Lancers and Dragon with only 1 wound actually remaining on the left-hand side come up. Again, I'm pretty happy he's putting his lances anywhere near me. If I'm honest,
Yeah.
if I can get them in some way, then I probably will. The issue is that the treemen only have a march of 10, so he's staying far enough back that it wouldn't really matter. But yeah, that's interesting. Swordmasters make the slow approach, and the Sea Guard just turn to face the lone shapeshifter who is not going anywhere near that unit because he can't take 30 men.
Yeah.
The Ancient Dragon comes right over as well.
That's a concern.
Because he's only got one wound on him, but however many, he's not. He goes through that whole corner on his own.
Yeah.
So I've got to try and work out what I do there. Shooting, he does 2 out of 3 wounds to me.
Okay.
Not a lot you can do with that. I do kill the dragon.
I was going to say, I wasn't convinced that you were dead there.
Boom, boom.
Yeah, I mean, they are only mini dragons after all, right?
They're only mini dragons, mate. There's not a lot to them, That was, I mean, he said I had 16 attacks, hitting on 2s, wounding on 5s. And
I'm not sure that's right,
That's what he said. He kept telling me he had it.
I mean, yeah, exactly. This is army. If he was saying that, I think they're devastating charge +1 attack. I'm going to look now because I'm.
Yeah, please do.
But carry on.
But anyway, regardless, they killed him. I only needed 4 wounds to be fair, and I was AP2, and he's only got 3 up armor. So I don't think it's in the realms of possible thing there. But just amazing.
Yeah, they're devastating charge.
Devastating charge.
Attack, so they should have only had 3 attacks each. But yeah.
Oh, I can't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he said I had 4 attacks each.
Well, fair enough.
But regardless, it is what it is. This was so with my Wild Huntsman. I go over behind the Griffin. This is my turn.
Yeah, because you're like troops. You can just literally dance around him.
I'm like troops. He's only got 1 wound left.
Come on, bow.
I mean,
come on that bow. I mean, you don't need the multiple wounds too for
absolutely.
that one.
If my Wild Huntsman can survive the game, that's a huge win in my regard. The single shapeshifter in the middle goes into
hides in the ruins.
Not that's going to help him.
Not much.
I get 1 wound off with lightning van braces. I think I actually don't get anything else off. Between the 2 spells, I only get 1 wound, which was like, I need to do a bit more than that because he's coming in.
Why are they going against the Ancient Dragon? Sure, can you not reach the Griffin?
Because the Ancient Dragon is going to go into my scoring,
right.
and I absolutely need to prioritize him with
fair
that.
enough.
I do 1 wound with the poison in the rear as well, so he's got 3 wounds, so only 5 wounds left. So
yeah, okay.
He's bleeding a little bit. He charges with the Sea Guard. I flee. For that, he charges here into my Dryads with 5 wounds left. Unfortunately, he gets in. I think he needed an 8, so it wasn't out of the realms of possibility. But he does get in, and I'm like, I need him to not do a lot because 6 attacks, 10 attacks from the model, and then stomp is just.
And it looks like you didn't manage to finish the Griffin off, unfortunately.
Didn't manage to finish him off, but he's going to be out the game and half points, so I'm not too bothered there. The only saving grace for me is if my Dryads can hold on the right, I have a rear and a flank charge into his Ancient Dragon.
Because Tree Father can be an issue for.
Yeah, annoyingly, he has no champions, though, because if he did, I would have put my BSB in as well and challenged with a champ. But not to be. Otherwise, he's just moving. He's now out of the forest.
He's got there eventually.
This is his turn 4, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just being tentative over there, hoping the Swordmasters clean up the corner, which they probably can.
Yeah, definitely.
Grey Watchers and Eagle come to face my little unit of poison shooters now. There's that. It gets flaming swords off on them as well, which doesn't sound like a lot on 5 shots, but they are hitting me on 2s, wounding me on 3s now. So yeah, pretty quality shots there. Only do 1 wound each because now he's got a what was it called? Distribute, and obviously gets the -1 to hit off, which is what it is. Over here, he only does 3 wounds, partly because of the ages and partly because he rolls 1 on the Thunderstomp.
Okay.
I do nothing to him, but I hold
you don't care
through steadfast, which is humongous.
Isn't it?
Really, really good. I have a lot of about 18 attacks or whatever it is, because 2 attacks and then 6, maybe 19.
Out of interest, you're obviously using his movement trays because it's his army.
Yes.
I didn't expect these dryads to be 6 wide. Like if I was playing them, I would have played them 8 wide. With like their 2 attacks each. But I mean, obviously he knows his lists way better than I would. So
yeah. Well, yeah, I didn't question it. I just did it like this. But I think in this one, because I wouldn't get too many more attacks, I'd maybe get 6 more. And I'm winning on 6.
No, absolutely. Yeah. No, exactly.
But yeah, whatever happens, I'm steadfast. I hold. I've got some counter charges. I'm hoping to just grind him out. I do need to roll some 6s though. Not doing any wounds on that was.
And the Tree Father's coming in, right?
Hopefully.
I mean, a flammable Tree Father.
Yeah. So I take both in. Well, the Tree Father I don't actually care about. If he goes after the Tree Father, he's not doing wounds to my Dryads.
Yeah,
and that means they're steadfast for longer. I put the Wild Huntsman into the rear, and the Treeman into the flank. Again, if I can get him down to like 2 wounds, and then over the course of just pick some wounds. That's my plan there. He keeps fleeing. He doesn't rally, but realistically, he's not got much to do in this battle anyway. I put my BSB there, so everything there has 12 inches.
A long shot of the Griffin?
I don't know. I can't remember. He doesn't kill him for what it's worth. So that's a shame. But
I'm desperate for that Griffin to go down.
What I do think I've got a shot on the mini pyro dragon.
Okay.
So yeah, my Treeman comes up here to. This is my turn 4. Yeah, I think so. To chaff his Swordmaster so that they go in turn 5, and I have 1 turn to do something basically with my
Get out of there. Yeah.
To see what I can do there. I couldn't quite go after the Lancers. If I could, I would have.
Yeah.
But I didn't have enough movement to quite go after them.
Yeah, those Tree Fathers aren't quick. Yeah.
No, unfortunately not. I get Perception of Strength off. And I put it on the Wild Huntsman to make them strength 5 now, AP3.
Yeah, because that is now a lot of attacks.
I'm pretty happy with that with my 4 guys. Unfortunately, with the guy's 4 attacks, the Prince's 4 attacks, he kills all 4 Wild Huntsmen.
Ouch.
And it's at this point that I think maybe I should have put.
Is that like a back claw? That just...
Yeah.
Oh no, it's the Prince.
His great weapon, or whatever. So, and it's at this point I go, maybe I should have put it on the Dryads for things.
Well, yeah, now, but
yeah, I was gutted because I was like, even if he kills 2 out of 4, just a couple of ones, he was just rolling. He just rolled them all, I think it's 3s and 2s. So, but all 4 attacks. Kill all 4.
He's just swatted them back with a little flick.
Because again, like if he doesn't do that, I get some attacks on him at highest strength, and all that jazz. But also,
he has 4 Dryads as well.
He has to then put his summon dragon attacks on him, so I don't get the rear.
Yeah.
So it's just awesome for him. And again, I think I do 0 wounds. I'll check. This might be after combat. Or I've done 3 with Treeman.
No, he'd already taken 3 going into it. So.
Yeah, we'll see. But either way, it's not good. I think I do 3, and I've got some behind, but we'll see. Anyway,
fair enough.
He goes into the Treeman there. No, I don't think I have. I think I've got 3, unfortunately. So I've still got to get 5 wounds through on him. He moves up with his Pyro Dragon and Grey Watchers onto my 2 guys.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping my general survives on 1. That's all I can hope for really there.
Yeah.
Gets Flaming Swords off from this. I have to let it go so he doesn't get Pyro Flow off on my general unit.
Yeah.
And it's just, if there was any doubt that they're going to go through the treatment, this quill.
I mean, they're wounded on 4s now. Yeah, he's dead.
The Blaze goes off and just the 1 wound needed to this guy, just to rub salt in the wound of how rubbish he was in this matchup. He only kills with the Grey Watchers the unit. So there's that. I've still got the magic and the general left, so there's that.
Your druid is now -1 to hit.
Yeah,
Damn it.
for what it's worth. And the Swordmasters don't even break a sweat.
No.
They turn to face. This is my turn 6 actually. So
right. Yeah.
no, my turn 5. My turn 5.
You YOLO
My
it.
turn 5. So I need a 10.
What else are they going to do? They're either
And-
going to get it and survive,
Yeah.
and put you 2-0 up, or they're going to lose and 1-1 anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's go for it. I think this, and if he fled, he would have been off the board because of the angle it was. If he'd have rolled a 4, for example, I think on a 2 or 3, he might have stayed.
Although actually, that might have been the right thing to do, to go 1-1 and then 2-1 to get your unit with the Swordmasters.
So no, I would have been. I've already got one of his lancers.
Yeah.
So I would have been 2-1. At this point, I would have been 2-0 if they'd have fled.
Sure. Yes. Good point.
So he chose to risk it and then said, "I can't believe I've given you a 10." And
the Lancers don't need to be there.
I rolled a 9.
Ouch. Yeah, the Lancers don't need to be there at all, do they?
No,
so, yeah.
no. They should be in the corner.
Yeah.
The fact that I had a chance is, but I rolled a 9 just to rob. It was just like so close.
It's always the way.
And if I got that, I saved that unit as well, so it's a whole load of points. But,
and now the Swordmasters are in your flank, just to make it even better.
Yeah. Regardless of whether they were in the flank or front, it wouldn't have mattered. At the point they go first. So the Hail Mary didn't work.
Dang you, Mary.
But yeah. Over here, I get Ice and Fire off on the Grey Watchers and kill them. Which is
great.
Well,
that's a nice turnaround.
So that's good. And over here, with all my attacks, I think the last 2 turns he's rolled like 1 on the Thunderstorm, so I got really lucky.
Yeah.
This time he goes to town on me. However, I do 3 wounds to him. I'm stubborn with the Treeman, and I'm steadfast with the unit because he's a flyer. So I hold, and I've only got to do 2 wounds left to him, and I've got 2 more rounds of combat. So I'm like, I could do it. And even if I lose this unit, I would then draw the objective, and he would. Would I draw the objective? No, I'd win the objective because he didn't get this unit. Oh no, if I lost this unit, sorry. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I might lose, but I lose points. So I'm actually not. I've only got 2 wounds with all those attacks.
Come on, Tree Father.
Yeah, come on. I did get Perception and Strength off them to help.
That helps, yeah.
Which shows I should have done that first time round, but hindsight. The bow comes in and kills the dragon, baby.
Yeah.
That bow is awesome, man.
That's amazing.
Be scared,
so
everyone, when you go up against this bow. But yeah, so I've got the Grey Watchers, got them, got going pretty well, and I get the dragon.
Hey, there you go.
Which, luckily for me, was before the Thunderstorm.
You only had 2 wounds,
and I only had 2
dryads
dryads left. So I managed to do this. I did 1 with the dryads, 1 with the treemen, and the treemen literally, it was like just got it off.
Yeah.
But I killed him, which is it's 1,100 points, and I've now
lost your scoring.
I'm still up on the objective technically at this point. But really happy, and these points are all safe. The only annoying thing is that was the Wild Huntsman not going in and doing it a bit earlier. But all in all, I can't complain with this.
No, not at all.
Swordmasters go in, and we will say nothing more.
For them. No.
He gets Perception of Strength off just because, and I'm like, you know what? It doesn't
have
matter.
it. Yeah.
Over here, I think he goes up and does 1 wound to my BSB, who came out in order to shoot the thing, but that's all right.
Yeah.
And this is the last picture.
Wow, that's a lot of dryads killed in one go.
That was 21 wounds.
Did you hold?
After the Aegis. It was just crazy, right?
I mean, if you run and get away, he doesn't get your point.
That was the last one. Was I needed a 7 to get
stay
off.
on the board and him not to catch you.
It was something like I needed a 7 to get off.
Would you be? No, you'd be decimated and fleeing, wouldn't you? So you'd still get your points. Actually,
but you don't. You haven't. But the scoring unit isn't dead. So you get the points, but you wouldn't get the objective.
That's a good point. And also, you had your bottom of turn 6 was yours, so you could have rallied on a half leadership. So
unfortunately, it didn't happen. So
right.
It's however, again, another thing is I think I needed a 7, and he needed to not catch me. You know, it was very unlikely, and it didn't happen.
Sure.
Another chance. So I mean, but what it did do is it allowed me, my deployment and stuff allowed me to have those 2 chances, which I was really happy with in the end.
It was a drawn objective.
Drawn objective. And then number 11-9 loss. So well done, Dan. You got a nice win. But honestly, I was happy. I was elated to get 9. I was at the start of the game. I was like, if I get 5, then it's been a good game. So to get 9 was super good for me. My point of view. It was a really fun game. Dan's a really nice guy to play as well. We had a really fun time in the morning as well. So that was nice to do. But yeah,
I mean, we did tell a little fib about how you went to sleep straight away the night before. Actually, you cried yourself to sleep.
I cried
but no, you didn't.
But no, I was super happy to get 9 points out of this matchup.
Yeah, I think so. I think you played that really well. You had to really think outside the box for what you were going to do about it.
It's crazy. So I'm 1 game away from not getting 20'd in any of the games at Masters.
Yeah. And this is 2 9-11 defeats.
Yeah.
That's really close as well. To, only a little pip of luck one way or the other.
That's it. Like, realistically, if I get that 10 charge, this goes from a 9 to a
easy
14.
Because you kill the Lancers, you win the objective, you get out your Dryads.
So that would be awesome. And then you sort of look at like the Kev Stonebank's game at start where I got 9. If I don't lose my dragon turn 1 to a one-shotted, it's just it's so fine margins, and that's why we love the game, right?
Definitely.
But really happy to get 9 and move on to the last game with some high hopes of getting at least 8th.
Really good, really good. Well done. I think you really played well in that one. I have to say that Dan didn't play terribly, considering he didn't know your army as well. I mean, obviously we know the matchup was in the favour of the Highborns, but
what he did well actually was really threaten my poison shooting with the Pyro and the Grey Watchers. The Grey Watchers were actually really good in that matchup, so I wouldn't have thought to do that. I wouldn't have thought to shoot at the what they're called Sentinels with the Grey Watchers, but actually it was ultra. They were really good in that matchup until I nice and fired them last turn. So I thought Dan pressured me really well. I thought he could be a bit more aggressive with the Swordmasters, at least one.
Although you did set up the forest screen, which is something we talked about, and that it was good that. I mean, you got a good table having 2 forests on there already.
Yeah.
So.
Well, being Sylvan Elves, I guess he knew it would hurt. Would hurt. So he respected the forest like a good Sylvan general, I guess. We'll put it back on this one as the last thing. But really good battle, really fun time. I can't wait to play Dan again. Hopefully at another tournament. And. Off to game 5, I guess.
Roll on round 5. Do you know who you're playing against?
Yes, we play Bondi in turn 5 and his ogres, which are beautifully painted as well. There'll be some nice pictures there. With some mammoth hunters that have spears that can kill my...
Actually, funnily enough, Bondi, we had dinner with Bondi on the Friday night, and he told you that his hunting spears were going to ruin your dragons if they came up against each other.
He did.
So... Bondi, you're getting the chance to prove that is the case.
I'd avoided it all tournament until now, so it was on.
It was great. Look forward to that already then. Sweet. We'll see you in round 5, folks. Hope you're enjoying this Masters coverage with a player at the Masters himself. Good stuff.
See you later.